Welcome back, movie fans, to another episode of Hollow Victories, where we see a face-off of movies that bug us. I am your host, Matt Presents, joined as always by my blood-sucking co-host.
Hello, I am a blood-sucking leech, but you can call me Makal. I really didn't know what to say for this one.
Leech? It's mosquitoes.
Fuck, but there wasn't really a lot of
mosquitoes.
There wasn't really a lot of mosquitoes and skeeters, though, to be fair.
There were a few.
There was like two.
Today, for our very odd January matchup, we like to do weird ones in January. We've taken a viewer request, not JPEG, requested we do the movie Skeeter, and I'm like, well, I know exactly what movie to pair that up with. The 1994 film Mosquito.
Mm-hmm.
1 year apart, both films about giant mosquitoes. If you're ready to jump into this, I'll tell everyone about Skeeter.
Let's just jump into it.
I think let's just fly into it, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Like a mosquito would.
Yeah.
So, Skeeter is the shocking expose on what actually happened to Scooter's sister after Muppet Babies.
Yeah.
But this 1993 film instead focuses on a small town where people and animals and everything, honestly, keeps dying. And everyone keeps talking about how this town isn't the same, and everything is dying, and occasionally some mosquitoes come around and kill people. And it's implied that that's like the main thing killing people in this town is these mosquitoes. There's also an evil land developer who's trying to like buy up all the land and open a resort or a suburb or something. And I'm pretty sure it's his fault the evil mosquitoes are here. I don't know. There's some sort of toxic dumping going on. I don't know if he was involved with the toxic dumping or not. I kind of missed that part. Or the movie just didn't elaborate. Either or. Michael, what'd you think of Skeeter?
Oh man, I was bored out of my mind watching this one. There was occasionally a funny character, like a scene that kind of made me laugh, but like this was just such a nothing one. I feel like, because it's funny that you point that out, because I was confused by that too. So much of the focus of the narrative is like, the water isn't any good here. It's just like, is that really the narrative that we need to spend that much time focused on for a fucking mosquito movie? Like, it just doesn't really feel like they go hand in hand. I feel like the other one, which we'll get to, did a way better job establishing that. It's like a summer camp. Mosquitoes are a common issue at a summer camp, you know? Like, their explanation is also something they don't put a lot of time into. It's like fucking alien shit in that movie. It's like, yeah, giant mosquito, summer camp, there you go. This is like, God, it takes us like 40 minutes to even see the mosquitoes in this movie, you know? Like, and then after that, it's not like they're like, oh, but from there, they're appearing a lot, right? No, not really. The best scene in the movie is there's this redneck at a bar talking about how Skeeter got him. It almost feels like that's why they named the movie Skeeter. And his delivery, you gone like that, you gone talking like that the whole time. And it's like, that was funny. That was like a great character to have in a mosquito monster movie. For sure.
I feel like so much of this is just like, here's a new scene of random people from the town talking about how this whole mosquito thing has affected them. And, like, most of them are not interesting, but occasionally you get one really weird guy that you're like, oh, this guy's fun. I like watching this guy. In all cases, it ends too quickly. It ends before you really get to spend that much time with them.
There's like this older guy with like longer hair who every single fucking word that comes from him sounds like a villain monologue.
Yeah, the land developer.
Yeah, there's this other old man who's just got like white hair and a hat, and he doesn't even like speak properly. Like he'll be on one thought and then 30 seconds later get back on topic. And I think that I thought he was interesting because I didn't even understand what the point was. Is it like, are they just trying to imply this guy's insane? Is that it? Because that was, to me, was the most believable performance. Do you know who I'm talking about? Because I'm being vague as hell right now.
Maybe.
But, because it's hard to describe some of these characters. This movie, some of them are just written so weirdly. Ernie kind of cracked me up just because of how horrible of a sheriff he was. Like, he was the fucking worst. But he got a couple of laughs. And then, yeah, the redneck at the bar is my favorite character, and I don't even think he has a name. He's just someone who experienced the mosquitoes. But even, like, then, like, them, yeah, it is a bunch of scenes of the characters just talking about how the town isn't the same anymore and how it affected them. But they don't even know why it affected them. Like, you'd be a little bit more interested if they were aware it was because of giant mosquitoes. But they're not. They're not aware of that. They're not aware of that until near the very end of the movie. And it's like, I could at least get a little bit of amusement of, like, the character saying, like, God damn, ever since those giant mosquitoes came by, things just haven't been the same. Because, yeah, I can imagine things not being quite the fucking same after the invasion of the giant mosquitoes. But the movie, like, they don't even know what the fuck is happening. No one's even trying to, aside from this one guy who comes to check their water, no one even knows what they're supposed to be looking for. Like, it's just such a bad script, but it's also a script that takes itself so goddamn seriously.
It is.
It is way too dramatic.
Way too seriously.
And that's why it's so boring. Like, and again, I think if they would just, I think genuinely what could have made it like a so bad it's good movie with how seriously all the scenes are taken is if they were just aware that this was being caused by giant mosquitoes. Like if we had all this melodrama because of those giant damn skeeters. Because then you could have like the character, like the redneck characters going like, goddamn those goddamn skeeters. But then there could also be like the people saying, they people giving their sad monologues about their parents that are now gone and all that. I think that'd be funny. I think that would have been genuinely funny if just from the start of the movie, they were aware that this was all happening because of giant mosquitoes, which I'm not even sure if it is happening because of giant mosquitoes. Because you're right, it's kind of confusing what's going on even after the climax of this movie. Like nothing is that well explained in this.
I don't think it's the most boring thing because occasionally you focus on someone kind of interesting, someone kind of fun, like the villain, like the land developer who just speaks. He's such a cartoon. He's so funny.
Yeah, I agree.
I even liked I liked the weird guy who was like keeping the mosquitoes as pets. Even though he doesn't really do anything. Most of the characters in this don't really do anything.
Yeah, I think he's the one I was talking about earlier. Like the one who's just not even like speaking properly.
Yeah, it's too unfocused, and it's taking itself way too seriously for a giant mosquito movie.
Some of this shit, like, I really, like, I agree there are funny characters occasionally, but it's just, I think they're way too spread out. And then some of the things I would find amusing about this movie came from, like, there is so little to laugh at in this movie that something would get me. Like, there's a scene where a police officer is driving his car through a field, and this woman he was talking to was riding her horse through a field, and just seeing that visual of like this majestic shot of the horse run, and then there's also a cop car behind her. I don't know, that just made me laugh because it's such a ridiculous thing to film. But it was so clearly not like, that wasn't even supposed to be like, not only was that not supposed to be funny, that wasn't even supposed to be like fun, you know, like that wasn't like a lowbrow like scene or anything. That was just the film taking itself seriously, because those two have a very serious bond in the movie. Those two have a lot of scenes where they talk together. And I don't know, I just like, I was looking at the Letterboxd page for this, and, you know, there really isn't a lot of people claiming to like this one when I read those reviews. Because I expected maybe there'd be some people saying like, oh, it's campy fun. I think it is like such a detriment to the film that it takes itself that seriously. Because there's a lot of people like in the reviews just saying like, yeah, that was fucking boring. What was that? I agree, it's not the most boring thing we've watched for the show. I could name plenty of... And actually, when we were watching it, I was saying it's extraterrestrial levels of boring. I take that back. It wasn't that bad. You mentioned Total Recall. It's probably more entertaining than Total Recall. Honest to God, it's probably more entertaining than fucking A Million Ways to Die in the West, or especially more entertaining than The Grinch. You know, like, it's not as boring as those, but it's still like, God, it's a fucking B movie about giant mosquitoes. That should not be one of the more boring movies on Hall of Victories. You know, that's just like, it's silly enough premise wise that this should be one of the more entertaining ones, if anything. And it just completely fucking failed the landing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know why, like it almost feels like a joke that they're being this dramatic about the giant mosquito movie, but like it never crosses that line into being funny to watch the melodrama unfold.
Yeah.
It is not like over the top or silly enough to work as like satire as like a parody of a movie like this. It's not goofy enough for the joke to land. If they were even trying to do a joke with this, which I'm not really convinced they were, it almost feels like they expected people to resonate with all of the long emotional speeches in the movie Skeeter about giant mosquitoes.
Yeah.
And it's like if they could just amp the melodrama up a little bit, it's to the point that it's like funny. That would do so much for this film. But no, it's like this boring melodrama that does not fit the tone at all.
No. Yeah, it is. It is so forgettable. It is one of those movies that we've done for the show that is... And I mentioned to you at the beginning of watching this, I have a bias towards monster movies because they're really not my thing. Like, I'm sure that there are a select few out there that I haven't seen yet that I would enjoy. But, like, even movies that are considered good monster movies, I can normally acknowledge the good things about them, but they're just not my thing. It's a genre that just so rarely entertains me. I think my favorite one is Tremors, and I like that movie, but it's not like a 9 or a 10, or I don't even know if it's an 8. I like it. I had a good time watching it. Okay, you know what? This almost goes more into horror, though, to be fair. The Thing, if we're going to do a monster movie, The Thing would be it, but The Thing, I don't even know if that counts. That's like a different genre, I feel. So yeah, Tremors is like, in terms of something that actually feels like a monster movie, is... I do enjoy that one, but even like Shin Godzilla, Olivia showed it for a movie night once. I appreciate so much about that movie. I loved a lot of the music in it. There's a song in it that's like absolutely stellar. The lore behind the monster and like how much it's suffering is like a really interesting thing to look at. The presentation of that movie is great, but it's still one that like by the end of it, I'm just like checking the timer constantly because it's just monster movies do not keep me engaged. I wish they did. They do not. So I am definitely at a bias with these two. Like, even if these two were both like, even if this was like a Barbarella or Zardoz, even if it was a case where it's like two movies that I genuinely like being paired up, there'd be like already be like this bias towards them where it's just like monster movies don't normally appeal to me, so I'm probably gonna like it less than the average person will. But my god, Skeeters is just lost me. I will forget about this movie tomorrow.
I enjoy monster movies quite a lot, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they are make or break on like how involved is the monster, actually? Does the monster get to do a lot of stuff? And I feel like there's not nearly enough of these mosquitoes in this movie.
No.
And B, like, how interesting are the human characters? And I admit, they're a mixed bag in this film, but again, like, they get so little focus. And it's the boring ones that get more focus.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I do not give a shit about the main police guy and the, like, woman he has a crush on. And, I, like, could not care less about these two characters. And they are basically the main characters of the film.
To compare it to Mosquito, I think that this film's most entertaining character is more interesting than any character in Mosquito, but Mosquito focuses on characters that I don't mind spending a movie with. I don't
agree.
I don't think Mosquito... Here's the thing, character-wise, Mosquito doesn't get as silly as Skeeter's does, but overall, film-wise, it gets way sillier than Skeeter's does. Because it knows what it is. I will say, presentation-wise, I thought there were some good shots of the mosquitoes in this, but they were, like, far and few between, because it felt like most of the time they didn't even want to see them. Like, the first mosquito death in the movie, there's one shot where the mosquito lands on the one guy, like the kind of asshole dad character. Although the daughter's also not the most pleasant person. I hope they're both fucking dead. That's what she was. But the dad was kind of a dick, too. But the mosquito gets, like, the second the mosquito connects itself to him, that was a good first shot of the mosquito. I was like, oh yeah, that's a giant ass fucking mosquito, and it just like stabbed him with its nose. Like that's disgusting. That's creepy to look at. But then the rest of it is just the daughter watching as we see a couple mosquitoes like on the side of the screen. Like they did not shoot that well. That first shot showed some promise with like the practical effect of the mosquito, but the rest of it was just like, no. That was like it was just like a really boring way to present it, you know, like because I don't think the visuals of the mosquitoes themselves are bad in this movie, but I just feel like they didn't. I think they proved with a few shots that they're capable of doing a good shot with these things, and then they just chose not to for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
There's occasionally a good shot, because again, the effect, it's a practical effect with the mosquito. It's not like CG. The effect looks fine, but they just don't. They really do way more suggested violence than actual violence, but they're clearly capable of doing actual violence.
Weirdly, they look better up close. Like, when you get the really close shots of them, they look gross, and they're doing some interesting stuff. When you see the wide shots, they look rubber and fake.
Yeah. But the close-up ones are good.
They don't move enough when you see them in the wide shot.
I did say when we were watching that there was one shot during the first scene that was just kind of silly because it's a close-up on the face of it, and all I could think of was that fucking butterfly shot from SpongeBob. There's not a lot of fun monster shots in this movie, and a lot of monster movies really do hold back on that. Even ones that are considered good will hold off on it. I mean, that was like, if you want to count Jaws as a monster movie, which you very well could. I'd say if you count that, that's definitely a better one. I like that movie. Jaws, they deliberately did avoid showing the shark. There is sometimes a meaningful reason that you hold off on showing the monster, But this movie didn't have that. They should have just fucking done it. They should have just fucking owned it, because this was boring to watch. That's actually something Mosquito, I think, does a much better job with.
Yeah, there's a lot of things Mosquito does better, but I mean, I don't know if we're getting ahead of ourselves comparing and contrasting the effects here. I feel like there's a lot of stuff in Mosquito that looks better than this movie, effects-wise, but there's also a lot of stuff in Mosquito where it's like, oh, that doesn't look good at all. And frankly, it's because there's more mosquitoes in Mosquitoes. They spend more time with the mosquitoes on camera, so there's more time for them to, do something bad, but also more time for them to, get stuff right.
I think it's okay to compare and contrast even before we're on the second movie, because it is a show about comparing and contrasting, and we'll get into more detail when we're on Mosquito,
Yeah.
Because I think that the effect of the mosquitoes is going to be a big thing. And yeah, I think Mosquito, one of the things that's notable about that movie, I'm going to say 8 out of 10 times, the effect is not bad. There are some bad shots in Mosquito. I'm not going to act like that movie doesn't have some ugly, unconvincing looking shots. But the puppetry on those big-ass mosquitoes and some of the shots they got, it's not bad.
Do we want to talk about the cast of this movie?
Yeah.
Because we do have one Mr. Charles Napier making his third appearance on Hollow Victories, having previously appeared in Rambo First Blood Part 2 and Steel. And I do like him well enough in this movie. I mean, especially compared to the other cop that gets focused on. He's more interesting than that guy, at least.
He is entertaining.
He's got this whole corruption arc. And I really love his death scene where he holds up one of the mosquitoes in his hand. He's got it squished in his hand. He's like, I got one.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed that, and I do look up a character that's a complete sleazebag that knows he's a complete sleazebag can be fun. I do like the scene where the one officer comes up to his door, he's like, you're never on time, and he's Ernie's upset because he's sleeping with someone, and it's in his office, and it's no one there is oblivious to what's going on, and no one cares. It's just Ernie is this big of a scumbag where it's just everyone accepts it and no one even gives a shit. He can't even fucking wait. He's just doing it in the morning at his job, but everyone's just okay with it. There's this guy who's there to come just make sure their water supply is okay, and he gets so fucking anal about that immediately. But it's kind of entertaining, It's kind of entertaining to have a character that you love to hate.
Yeah. William Sanderson played the water inspection guy.
Yeah.
He's in some stuff. He's in Blade Runner. Let's look. Yeah, the villain, Jay Robinson, the land developer. Just mugging at the camera constant. Oh, Michael J. Poehler. That's the guy we were talking about, the one who keeps the mosquitoes as pets.
Yes, and he was the one I was talking about earlier, too, of just, having a very weird delivery on everything. He just kind of made me laugh because I don't know how to explain it. He just, he didn't seem quite there as, anytime he was, talking to someone, he didn't seem like he was quite there.
Yeah,
and that did kind of get a laugh out of me.
and that's fun. It's a weird number of people in this movie were in Sleepaway Camp 3. Like, the main girl, Tracy Griffith, was in Sleepaway Camp 3, and Michael J. Pollard was in Sleepaway Camp 3.
A lot of people in this movie also just had like an actual career. Like, I mean, Michael J. Pollard was in Bonnie and Clyde, which was a big one. American Gothic, which was a huge one.
Yeah, no, I mean, these actors are in things.
Often with like, when you say like Skeeter, I kind of pictured something like really small and low budget, and it was definitely low budget. But I mean, I saw like a lot of these actors. It's like they all have their pictures when you look them up on Google. There's been some stuff we watched where it is like 90% blank images for every actor,
Yeah, George Buck Flower was in this movie. Buck Flower, he's sometimes credited as. Also in Mac and Me. Was also in Mac and Me, so this is a return for him. He also, speaking of The Thing, he's done some stuff with John Carpenter. He's been in, like, a handful of John Carpenter's movies. Not The Thing, but a few other of his movies.
I mean, he's the first one credited, too. At least on Google. And Google kind of goes by relevancy most of the time. So
yeah.
Google thinks this boy is relevant. Tracy Griffith as Sarah Crosby, the one who constantly talks about how this town is not what it used to be. I don't know. She was a boring character, but I don't blame her for anything.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, she's pretty, but like, there's nothing else going on with this character.
Yeah.
Ditto Jim Youngs as the main guy, Roy.
Yeah.
He has not been in much. He was in Footloose and the Wanderers, and that's like his most known stuff.
And that's two pretty big ones, though. That's definitely, still like,
sure.
maybe not a full career, but hey, you made your mark outside of Skeeter, and I'm proud of you for that. Yeah, I don't know. It's just most of these guys are... Google, why the fuck is Rip Torn here? Why is he here? I'm gonna look up Rip Torn Skeeter and see why that is. It's trying to tell me that Skeeters is his last name. Fuck you, Google. Oh my god. The world is getting worse. Matt, we're just like, honest to God, I gotta give Skeeters a 10 out of 10 now, because Skeeters is just telling it how it is. The world isn't what it used to be. We can't trust Google anymore. Google is not what it used to be.
Google is not what it used to be. The water's poisoned now. Remember when Google had a search aggregator that fucking worked? Google sucks. Do you have anything else to say about Skeeters?
Boring, I didn't like it, but it's not the worst thing it's far from the worst thing we've watched, but overall, yeah, no, did not like this one. This was a good pick for Hall of Victories, because it's a bad movie.
I get why not JPEG was interested in this one. It is an odd film.
And hey, I mean, we talked about it longer than I thought we would. We're 30 minutes into this episode, so not JPEG is always... I've been on your streams before, Matt, as like just as a kind of looking at chat and as a co-host, and Not JPEG is always there giving suggestions. So Not JPEG, thank you for the suggestion. I hope you're enjoying the episode. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry that I hate this, because you suggested it for Hall of Victories, so you probably hate it too.
After this is edited down, this might not be 30 minutes into the episode. This will probably be like 28 minutes into the episode or something.
Close enough.
But
I thought we might have 5 minutes worth of things to say about this episode, about this movie, to be fair. Because this is just like, and honest to God, I don't know how much we're going to get on Mosquito, but we will see.
Yeah. Let's talk about Mosquito.
Oh, so Mosquito, released in 1995, directed by Gary Jones, tells the story of an alien spacecraft that crashes into a U.S. national park. A mosquito sucks the blood of a craft's deceased extraterrestrial pilot, causing the insect to mutate to an abnormally large size. And they just kind of start invading a summer camp. Those first two sentences I read directly off of Wikipedia, which is why they were so fluid. Yeah, I don't really... Is that a fair enough description? They just start kind of invading a summer camp after that. There's like, I remember there's like bank robbers that stop into the park and they get fucked up by the giant mosquito, but I mean, I think some of them actually join them, don't they?
Yeah, I do think you should mention the characters who are sort of on the run from the mosquitoes.
Yeah, it opens with a couple that are going there. Like one of them is starting a job at that park, and they hit a mosquito. And the guy is like, "Hey, don't worry about it, babe. That's nothing." And then the girl is a little worried about the giant mosquito they hit. And eventually they just all start teaming up together. There's this one guy who the second day there, he kind of travels there. He kind of helps them get to their destination because their car is no good because of the mosquito. And he gets them there, and then he's part of helping them take out the mosquito army at the end.
The meteor scientist.
Yeah.
Searching for the quote-unquote meteor that went down.
Yeah, it's just people versus the mosquitoes at that point. And you know what? It's a dumb, fun movie. There's some giant mosquitoes that you see way more frequently than you do in Skeeters, and it's not the best movie ever or anything like that, but there's some decent practical effects in this movie. There's some fun shots, and it's just boys versus mosquitoes. Matt, what'd you think of Mosquito?
Oh, I mean, it's pretty fun. It knows what it is. It could have been... Like, I don't feel too bad putting it on Hollow Victories. It definitely could have used a little more style, a little more flair, maybe even a little more humor. But, like...
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fun enough. It's a giant mosquito movie. Like, what more could you want from it than what it delivered?
Yeah. 100%. I had a good time. Like, I mean, I think by the end of it, it was dragging a little bit. Like, I was ready. When it ended, I was ready for it to be over, but it wasn't, like, ridiculous. It wasn't like there was 20 minutes left, and I was like, oh, end already. It was more so just like, yeah, all right, I get the point. Let's wrap this up. And then they wrapped it up,
Yeah.
These mosquitoes are way bigger than the ones in Skeeters, so these were harder puppets to prop. But they did a pretty good job. But I mean, honest to God, there's a lot of scenes of them like flying around and interacting with stuff, and I don't even want to say 9 out of 10 times. I want to say 8 out of 10 times. It looks good.
Yeah, here's the thing: they do sometimes try to like mat them into the shot, and it looks bad.
It's bringing me back to Labyrinth in those scenes.
Yeah, but otherwise, they look really good, and this is something that is, like, almost entirely absent from Skeeter. Those fuckers die. There's a lot of mosquitoes getting blown up in this movie. Like, they get shot and just, like, splatter everywhere. In general, there is way more gore in this movie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the first thing you see is one of them fly into a car and get splattered from that. But you have to remember, Skeeters opens with this one guy smacking his neck and saying, "Damn, Skeeter." So, actually... Pretty equal, actually.
Yeah, and Charles Napier does kill one with his bare hand.
Yes.
He got one.
He got one.
But I feel like there's a lot more mosquito viscera in this one.
I mean, just, again, I mentioned it before, the setup is a camp. Like, the setting is there. I like how we have, like, they have park service as characters, too. And one of them doesn't take their job seriously. It's a boring job. He's like, oh, what's going to happen at a summer camp? And then there's the guy in charge who's, like, obsessed with killing these fucking things. I like that. I like at the beginning of the movie, you don't even know if he's obsessed because he's aware of the giant mosquitoes or he just hates regular mosquitoes that much.
They do kind of suck as animals.
They do.
Like, I think behind humans, they are the deadliest animal.
I think they are the most, because I'm, a human. I like other humans, so I'm at least gonna give humans that. But like, mosquitoes, I can't like name. Because I'm terrified of wasps and hornets. Like I'm fucking terrified of wasps. I hate them. I think someone should make a good horror movie about them because they're fucking scary. But at the very least, they are capable of pollination. Where mosquitoes, it's just like, what the fuck do they like, there's nothing good that comes from a mosquito, There is literally nothing good that comes from a mosquito. They are bastards.
There's the Irwin Allen film, The Swarm. It's considered pretty bad, but like...
Hey, pick it for Hollow Victories.
I thought it was okay.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm down to watch it. I am terrified of wasps. If you show me a giant wasp movie, it'll probably fucking scare me.
That one's like a lot of bees. It's like a whole lot of killer bees invade a town. And it does actually have kind of a similar problem to Skeeter, where like it focuses on way too many people in the town, and it bogs down the movie how much time they spend on the people in the town.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think the main characters are more interesting. Like, the main guy is Michael Caine in that movie, and he's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And there's some, like, really cool effects. I don't know, I'm sure there's another B movie we could pair that up with.
Pair it up with B movie.
I didn't realize that until it came out of my mouth. But, like, you know, killer B movie.
Killer Bean Forever? But anyway.
Mosquito.
I mean, I had fun. It's not like an amazing movie, but it's pretty entertaining.
No. Yeah, I like that it's kind of this. I mean, for one thing, comparing it to Skeeter, I think it's kind of obvious which direction we're going with this episode. Sometimes we make it really obvious. They get to the mosquitoes quick in this movie.
Almost immediately.
I don't know that there's an opening scene kill, but like by the 20-minute mark, the mosquitoes have attacked, and they are dealing with the aftermath of the mosquitoes for most of the movie.
We have the car scene, which is them, the people fucking up a mosquito, which, I mean, I think it's a good thing they show the mosquito's weakness pretty early on. That's a good narrative choice, that they can just kind of crush those fucking things. They are bugs, you can squish them. But there's also, I think pretty early on, probably within the first 20 minutes, it's not an opening scene, but there's a scene with the two people on a canoe, and the giant mosquito comes down and gets them from that.
Yeah.
And that's even like a good thing to do. And when you're making a horror movie, sometimes you want to create like a scary scenario for people. And yeah, being on a canoe and on camp, like someone who sees this movie, someone who saw this movie back in the 90s might have been on a canoe later in the woods and be like, God damn, I hope a giant mosquito doesn't come and fucking kill me. Like, yeah, that's like what Jaws did. People were fucking terrified of the ocean after that. That's what a good monster movie does, It makes people afraid of their surroundings.
Yeah. I like that they find the one park ranger, like, hiding under a boat.
Yeah.
And then it becomes all right, everyone load up into this RV and let's get the hell out of Dodge. But then they run into the jewel thieves, and the jewel thieves fuck things up for them.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, it feels like there is constant forward momentum in this film, and that we're not cutting back and forth between, like, dozens of random townspeople.
Oh, yeah. No, it knew it priorities were straight in this movie.
Yeah, it knew what it was. Like, even if we hadn't watched Skeeter, I would be saying that. I think this film knew what it was. A lot better than Skeeter did. It's like, oh, it's a movie about giant killer mosquitoes. Well, we better have the giant killer mosquitoes kill a bunch of people and have a bunch of blood and guts in this movie. Come on, that's all I ask.
And even if you want to have, like, better character moments, I'm like, sure, it's not the best genre for that, but sure, but it's like, God, it's got to be interesting, it's got to be in depth. If you want to be ballsy and go that way, you can go that way, but Skeeter had the most generic fucking conversations they possibly could have. It was, like, these characters were so one-dimensional. Like, every single talk they had about how the town isn't what it used to be and how they miss their parents, it's like, it really just felt like what a lot of action movies do, like, where it's like, oh, the wife or kids are kidnapped by the villain, but you rooting for him because you have family, you love family, it just doesn't, you need more than that. You need depth to the characters, because otherwise it just feels like you're trying to fucking manipulate people. And that's all Skeeter's was. They didn't have any depth to their characters, so the only thing that you're looking at when you see those big, drawn-out conversations is that, oh, I have someone in my life. Do you have someone in your life that you love? Probably. Pretend that this person is person that you love in your life. That's all it is. A lot of monster movies are guilty of that. A lot of action movies are guilty of that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm on my soapbox this episode. It's just, it's one of those things where I legitimately, Skeeter's put me in a position where I had very little to get out of it.
I also feel like this is a weird case where, like, you can very easily point at one film and just be like, if you just did this, you wouldn't be a great film, but like you'd be more entertaining.
And sometimes that's all you need to do. Sometimes if you made something that's entertaining, even if you made something that's like forgettable, but you made something that was fun for an hour and a half, then my God, if I knew that something I made entertained someone for an hour and a half, that would be such a good feeling for me, you know?
Many of the things you have made have entertained me for more than an hour and a half.
And I appreciate that. And I'm not saying, I'm not even like talking myself down when I say that, because I have felt that satisfaction before. But if I made something like Skeeters, I don't think I'd have that, you know? At least not from Skeeters. Because so many things you have made, even recently, I liked your Muppets video that you and Mitzi did a lot, have brought me entertainment for an hour and a half. And that was exactly an hour and a half almost. I think it was like maybe 4 minutes more, but like something like that. But absolutely, I get it. I'm just saying, like, I think that there's nothing wrong with being the person. I guess the point I'm making is there's nothing wrong with being the person who made Mosquito. You know, the person who made Skeeters, you gotta get over yourself a little bit, because that movie was too... Again, it took itself too seriously.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I almost feel like the ambitions of Skeeter are a little higher, and it's like, yeah, but you're hurting yourself doing that, because the movie's not as interesting when you do that. You're taking yourself way too seriously. It's a killer Mosquito film. Have fun with it.
Yeah, and even if you want to have depth to your characters, you can do that. I have seen movies where the great depth that the characters have surprised me. It's not super common, but it has happened before. I'm like, I am surprised that something this stupid is making me feel something this strong. I mean, honest to God, I'm bringing up something that has nothing to do with this now, but like BoJack Horseman, for example, is such a silly premise. It's such a weird premise. It is animals and humans coexist in this world that represents Hollywood, and the main reason they did that is so they can make animal puns, and it is one of the most meaningful pieces of media I've ever seen. So if you want to go weird, if you want to make a monster movie about mosquitoes that has like really in-depth characters, you can do that, and if you do it well, I will respect you. But this movie, that Skeeters just didn't have that. You know, it just didn't have characters that strong.
Right. I think of a movie like Don't Let the River Beast Get You, which I need to show to you. It's on my movie night list. That will happen very soon.
Sounds good.
But in that movie, it's kind of a joke that the monster doesn't show up for most of the film. But, like, the characters are interesting on their own. The stuff the characters are doing carries that film. So the joke of, like, the monster barely showing up lands.
I mean, and edit this out if you want to, because I understand that this might be not something you want your audience to hear, but you shared a script with us very recently that we all read through that kind of hit that same territory. And you can edit that out, because I'm aware I'm fucking saying a lot right now.
Yeah. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, like, there's a way to, like, you can have interesting characters in a silly story.
Oh, yeah.
And the characters in Mosquito, they're pretty silly, frankly.
Yeah.
I don't even, like, love all of them. There's, like, the one, the, like, kind of incompetent, park ranger, I thought was, like, easily the weak link here. Like, I don't think I was ever laughing at him, and I think his actor was giving one of the worst performances of the film.
I agree with that, actually, because I felt like there was like points where it's like, I almost feel like there is a potential for a funny character here, but the delivery isn't working.
Right. That's kind of getting into casting. Should we get into casting?
I think so, and you might have to remind me of some of who these people are, because I don't recognize their faces, but I'll recognize their role.
Yeah.
Way smaller cast than Skeeters.
Yeah, and, like, much less famous, I would say. The big name here is, of course, Gunnar Hansen, the original Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, plays one of the robbers that hijacks the RV. And of course, near the end, they have to give him a chainsaw, and he's like, oh, haha, look, it's the Texas Chainsaw guy, and I got a chainsaw. I remember there being a few more Texas Chainsaw references in this. Granted, my memory of seeing this for the first time is pretty fuzzy. I didn't remember the alien being there at all, which, to be fair, like, the alien is so barely addressed, it's actually kind of hilarious. That it's just like, oh yeah, how did these mosquitoes get giant? They sucked the blood of an alien. But we're not gonna focus on the alien at all. Forget the alien. That doesn't have anything to do with the rest of the story.
Can I be honest? When I read, because when I started this description, when I had to announce the movie, I started, my first two sentences were just the Wikipedia synopsis. I forgot about the aliens completely. Like, I had no memory of the fucking aliens.
I also, when I conceived of this matchup, when I'm like, oh, we'll do Mosquito versus Skeeter, I'm like, and that'll give us another Clint Howard movie. And then I looked, and he's not in this, and I'm like, what fucking movie do I remember Clint Howard being in that isn't Mosquito? It's a movie called Ticks, from, like, I think also from 1994. Like... This easily could have been a Mosquito versus Ticks episode. I might have had more fun with Ticks. It at least has Clint Howard in it.
And look, I'm any excuse to keep Clint Howard at top, I'm always for.
Gunnar Hansen, he does fine. He is one of the more entertaining characters in this. Steve Dixon was the meteor guy who drove the Jeep for them.
Yeah, he was good. He was fine.
He's not in a lot of movies, although he was in a film called Unmasked Part 25, which is a very funny, like, Friday the 13th riff. It's like, what if Jason had an existential crisis?
Steve Dixon is weird because, like, okay, it's weird actually, because the first image on Google Image search is who he was in Mosquito, but everyone else is, there's, like, multiple IMDb pages for a white guy named Steve Dixon. But that's not, Steve Dixon was not a white guy. No. But there's multiple white guys named Steve Dixon who have an IMDb page. So I guess Steve Dixon is kind of a similar, common name, I guess.
Yeah.
Because on his, the Google results is a white guy. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, that's not who that was. But yeah, there we go. It's just because there's multiple actors named Steve Dixon who are white, and then... But the Steve Dixon in Mosquito was black. I thought he was fine. I thought he did a good job.
Yeah.
Nothing like phenomenal, but like, I mean, and I guess he wasn't in much other than that. Like, there's like, he has 5 credits on IMDb.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at this cast, and like, apart from Gunnar Hansen, almost no one is in anything.
Unlike Skeeters,
yeah. There's one of the robbers, whose name was just Junior, which is kind of funny, is played by a guy named Mike Hard. Which I just think is funny. It was Hendrix, I believe, was the park ranger that we were saying wasn't that good, played by Ron Ashton.
Yeah.
And then Tim Lovelace is the main guy in this. He and his girlfriend are like the ones who hit the bug first.
Not in a ton of stuff.
No.
It's a bad sign when I look you up and most of your pages are Facebook related.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, you made some, you're out there. You made some stuff, We're talking about you.
Yeah, you made it on Hollow Victories.
You got that.
Put that on your resume.
Oh.
Anything else to say about mosquitoes?
Not really. No. This is the last record, and this is like this episode's coming out in 2026. This is the last record in 2025, and I'm intoxicated, and that's where I need to be for this.
Yeah, I guess we've reached the end here. I know everyone's waiting with bated breath to see which one we're voting for. Michael, why don't you go first?
I'm voting for the Grinch.
Whoa! It's the Grinch with the steel chair!
Whoa! I'll vote for Mosquito.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote for Mosquito too, and for what it's worth, the audience is on our side. This has like the fewest votes I think I've ever seen. 35 votes on this. I'm
not surprised. Like,
because I don't think anyone's seen these two movies. But it's 74% for Mosquito, so the audience is with us on that one.
Not JPEG. Leave a comment. Which one did you vote for?
Yeah. Shout out to Not JPEG for this one.
Yeah, you suggest a lot. I'm glad we're doing one of your suggestions.
You might have also suggested this for Matt's Funtime Weird Movie Show back in the day, because I I just have a list of stuff that I got recommended for Matt's Funtime Weird Movie Show
Right.
that I haven't watched. And Skeeter was on it.
Do you think you could have made a full episode on that?
I mean, probably.
Do you think you'll ever get back to that, or do you think you're done with it? You don't have to answer that if you don't want to.
I don't know. I honestly do not know.
I mean, I feel that. Like, I've got my old shows that I don't know if I want to return to or not to.
I want to give it a proper ending, but, like, I also don't know that I want to, like, put more of it on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
It was a fun thing that you did for a while, you know?
Yeah. Mosquito wins.
Woo! Alright, so now we're really diving into 2026. What's next, Matt?
Well, this is one where we are kind of relying on the like poorly reviewed aspect of it, because both of these were critically panned, but I have heard people defend both of these movies, so I'm kind of curious, actually.
Okay.
Whether or not either of these are actually worth watching. Two films from the early 2000s, based on very old cartoons, where those cartoons just come out of the cartoon into the real world.
Ooh.
It's The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle versus Fat Albert.
Oh, nice. I'm excited for this one. Okay, so Fat Albert, I liked when I saw it as a kid. I really liked it. And Rocky and Bullwinkle, I've seen a few clips. I really wanted to see it as a kid. I never got to, but I've seen a few clips. I love the yeah, and I'm John Goodman clip. That one always cracks me up. Like, I am excited for this pair up.
Well, we'll see how it goes. We might like these two a little bit. Anything else to add?
I mean, Bill Cosby isn't Fat Albert. I'll keep that in mind, but
Oh yeah.
But I did like the movie as a kid a lot. We'll see how it goes. I like how they, we'll talk about it in the episode.
Yeah.
Fat Albert.
I'm looking forward to this one.
Fat Albert will be nostalgic for me. Rocky and Bullwinkle will be what could have been for me.
I don't think I saw either of these as a kid.
I rented Fat Albert and I watched it like 6 times. I really liked it. Rocky and Bullwinkle, I really wanted to see it. I never saw it. I've seen clips and it looks like it's fun.
Yeah. So I guess until next time, for my co-host Makal Shadackle, I am Matt Presents. We will see you in the next one.
Peace. I said, row, row, row your butt gently to the beach. It's the hippin' and hoppin' and poppin' and lockin' and droppin' and funky groove that'll move your feet. Let's do it. Skating boards with my best friends. The memories we create today will last until the end. I know when you're with me, we're reppin' to the beat. Oh yeah. I don't know. I lost the melody.